Hey, welcome. Welcome. I'm so glad that everyone is here today. And I know why you come here. It's because I tackle the tough issues like the government shooting down mysterious balloons. I mean, they're treating it like it's Area 51 when it's actually more like a gender reveal party that got a little out of hand. But seriously, what's in those balloons? The government won't tell us, and they're acting like it's the spoiler for the next Guardians of the Galaxy. It's like they're trying to protect a secret more closely guarded than the cocktail of pep pills they give to Joe Biden to make him look alive. And let's be honest, this is the same government that told us Epstein killed himself. They're about as trustworthy as a Nigerian prince helping you balance your checkbook over Zoom. So what is in the balloons that's so top secret? Are these the jetpacks I was promised in the 80s? Or maybe it's just a bunch of Bored Ape NFTs. Well, whatever it is, we deserve to know. We can handle the truth, even if it's just a DoorDash delivery gone astray. So government, stop treating us like we're in WITSEC, hiding from the cartels, and tell us what's in the balloons. Otherwise, the speculation will be crazier than QAnon drops, and we need to know. Tell us what's in those damn balloons. My name is Tom Coffey. This is the Coffee and Nuance Show, the best censored commentary and news show live right now. Flame on. Hey, we got a great show today. I got a number of stories to get through, and I think they'll be good. They'll be good. We're going to talk about what's in the balloon. I want to say goodbye to Rachel Welch. Talk about competency tests if you want to run for president. Machu Picchu is reopened. That's a story that I talked about last month. Got an update there. And lastly, for good news, we're going to talk about Susan that runs YouTube. She's stepping down. But let's get to the first story, shall we? About these balloons. So, since the U.S. shot down a suspected Chinese spy balloon, 3 more objects have been shot down, but they were found to be harmless, commercial, or benign objects. One theory is that at least one of these objects could have been a Pico balloon used in an amateur radio hobby of launching high-altitude balloons. Amateur Radio Pico Balloons involves launching small, solar-powered payloads that transmit low-power WSPR on high frequency. Unlike larger amateur radio balloons launched in the U.S., no FAA clearance is required to launch these Pico balloons due to their tiny payload. Now, the name of one, K9YO15, is one such Pico balloon that was launched in October 2022, and it circumnavigated the globe 7 times, but it hasn't transmitted any telemetry since the 11th of February, when the US Air Force happened to shoot down an unknown balloon object over Canada. Now, it's speculated that the object shot down could have been this K9YO15 Pico balloon. So, yeah, it's very interesting. I equate this to someone going fishing. And I know this isn't the best analogy. But if the U.S. government shot down something that was really important, that was really something exciting, something they would brag about, we would have heard about it by now. If it turned out to be just a nothing burger, like an amateur weather balloon, they're just going to say, we shot it down and we're making America safe again. And what I mean with that is if you got a friend that goes fishing, if he were to catch a trophy fish and it was so great that you would mount it on the wall and pay to have a taxidermist take care of it so you can mount it in your living room, you'd tell everyone about that. But if you went fishing and you just caught a couple little fish that were too small and you had to throw them back and it was no big deal, they're not going to brag about it. In the same way, our government's not bragging about what they shot down. So that leads me to believe that it's not a big deal. And perhaps it was one of these Pico balloons. I'd never heard about these before. Did a little research into it. And the payload is tiny. In fact, the transmitter that they use is about this size. Right here. Now this is from a laptop. This is a Wi-Fi transmitter. But it turns out, size of a postage stamp, this is about the same size of what they would use on these balloons. So they get these big silver mylar balloons. They cost less than $50. They inflate them with helium. Have a little string. Have a couple components. They might have an Arduino, like a Raspberry Pi, but everything would be less than a pound. And they send it off, and you can use these radio waves to track it as it circumnavigates the globe. That's pretty cool. That's pretty exciting. That might be a hobby that you might want to check out if you need a new hobby. I think it's pretty cool. And if you can get all the components and the balloon and everything for less than $100, send up your own balloon and then track it online while it travels around the earth, that's, there's worse things that you can do. I think that's what's going on here with what we're shooting down. I don't think they're aliens. I don't think they're UFOs, but I don't know. What do you think? What do you think are all these things that our government is shooting down that's flying around? And are they doing it to make us safer, or are they doing it to distract us from something else, perhaps? Yeah, not sure about that. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments about that. Okay, let's talk about Raquel Welch. Yeah. She's the big screen star of the 60s and 70s. She died at the age of 82 following a brief illness. The actress gained fame in movies including Fantastic Voyage, 1,000,000 Years BC, Myra, Breckinridge, and many others. Her career spanned more than 50 years, 30 films, and scores of TV series and appearances. She received a Lifetime Achievement Award from Imagen Foundation in 2001. She was born Jo Raquel Tejada in Chicago in 1940. Her family moved to San Diego when she was a toddler, where she attended San Diego State in Theater Arts Scholarship and got her start as a local TV weathercaster. Now, I think she has been in my life, my whole life. I've known of Raquel Welch. When I was a kid, I think she was past the young, hot actress stage, and she was more of the adult bombshell ideal. But here's just some pictures of her through the year. I think she had a huge influence and was one of the people that women wanted to look like the most. She had kind of an athletic look, a feminine yet athletic look, but just and here's a classic one with this like this fur bikini from 1,000,000 Years BC. That is a classic. But just through the years, she really was the epitome of bombshell, I would say. And I remember, just always seeing her on late night talk shows, going on Johnny Carson and Jay Leno and Dave Letterman and things like that. But she really did have a storied career, and I don't think that we have someone like that today, that they were big when they were young and we will be following them their whole life. Do we? That's like a fashion icon like this? I don't know that we do, but if we do, who do you think that is today? Let me know in the comments. I don't think, Emily Ratajkowski or whatever, I don't know that we'll be following her in 10 years, but perhaps we will. But that's just RIP to Rachel Welch. She was 82. And even the last years of her life, she was stunning. And she never looked like she had work done. But she always just was classically beautiful. So, yeah. Rest in peace, Raquel. Let's get to the next story, and let's talk about competency. All right. There we go. Competency tests. Well, Republican presidential candidate Nikki Haley there we go. Here we go. Republican presidential candidate Nikki Haley calls for mandatory cognitive tests for politicians over the age of 75, which is seen as a dig at former President Trump and current President Joe Biden, who would be 78 and 82, respectively, if they were to run for president again in 2024. Haley's campaign message focuses on the need for a younger leader in the United States and also includes promises to enforce term limits for Congress and address illegal immigration. Haley's the first major Republican candidate to challenge Trump, but she faces tough competition from Trump and Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. But what do you think? When it comes to competency tests, I definitely think that one should be done for Joe. But because of that, I don't think it'll ever happen, right? Those results will never be released to us. I think that if Trump had to take one, he would probably have a press conference and brag about how great he did on that competency test. But I don't know that we should limit it to just 75 years old. You know, if we're going to have a competency test for politicians, how about we do it for every member of Congress and anyone that is in a senior level of the executive branch? I would be all for that. And while we're at it, Supreme Court as well. Now, I suspect the Supreme Court, they'd all pass with flying colors. But if we're going to do it for one, we should do it for all of them. Competency tests all around, including anyone that wants to run for president. I am for it. I don't know why anyone would be against it. But again, I can only think using my own brain, and I don't know what it's like to, I don't know why anyone would not want to have a competent president, right? So, but if you have a better argument against it, let me know in the comments. I think that would be good to know. Yeah, so let's get to the next story. And this is a follow-up from something that I talked about just a couple of weeks ago. Machu Picchu, the famous Inca-era stone citadel in Peru's southeastern jungle, has reopened after being closed for nearly a month due to anti-government protests in the region. The protests have caused a blockade of train tracks leading to the site and over 60 people have died in related incidents. Agreements have been made to ensure the security of the site and transportation services. Machu Picchu was built by the Incas as a religious sanctuary in the 15th century. So I talked about this when they closed it originally. I think it was about 400 tourists had to be evacuated by helicopter based on these protests. So it did get crazy down there. They have made some agreements with the protesters, and now you can plan your vacation again to Machu Picchu for your new profile pic. Or you could just use a green screen. I'm sure there's an app now that you can take a picture and add in a Machu Picchu background. And if not, there should be. There should be an app. Maybe that is the $1 million app of for girls, so that they can post pictures from all over the world, and guys to post pictures in Lamborghinis and stuff like that. That'd be a good app. What do you think about that? Let me know. But lastly, let's have some good news, right? We got some good news, and that is bye-bye Susan. YouTube CEO Susan Wojcicki has announced that she's stepping down from her position to focus on her family, health, and personal projects. Neil Mohan, YouTube's chief product officer and head of its trust and safety team, will take over as the senior vice president and head of YouTube. Wojcicki will remain involved with Google and Alphabet as an advisor. During her tenure, YouTube became an increasingly important part of Google and Alphabet, but the platform faced moderation issues, including around hate speech and moderation. And that's why I am particularly excited that she is leaving, is because my YouTube channel was being able to be seen by people, and she became the leader, and they decided that they didn't want independent news people, commentators, rising in the ranks. And so all of a sudden, my YouTube channel was hidden. And she was the president of YouTube when that happened, so it can't get worse. So to me, I see this as only getting better. So I salute you, Susan. Bye-bye. Good luck. And here's hoping that YouTube becomes better without her. So that's all I have to say about that today. Stick around the after show. I will address all of your comments. But I hope you have a fantastic day, and I will see you next time, tomorrow, for another Fact Check Friday. Peace. All right, thanks for joining me for the after show. We got a number of people here. First off, I didn't mention it earlier. Let's check this out. But this is what it looks like when I try to post to Rumble. Let's see if I can move that. That's what it looks like. And you see down here, you see submitting. And it's been that way for an hour, and it is stuck there. So for whatever reason, I did send out a tweet to Rumble asking for advice on what to do. They have not replied, or maybe they've replied. Let me just check right now. Nope, they have not replied, but hopefully they will reply so I can be broadcasting on Rumble, but for whatever reason, we ran into an error today. So sorry about that. I'm trying. Apothecary John, always in the chat. That's awesome. We've got the flames and coffee. Flame on says lucid moments of reality, 5150. Jesse says coffee time. Love it. Got my coffee here for the nuance. Fantastic. Diet Sprite's in the house. Doug's in the house. Oh man, we're doing great in the chat. I really appreciate the community that's building up in the live chat. I saw the best Valentine's Day card, says Muggsy Spug. It was a picture of Epstein with hearts around his body, and it said, "Don't leave me hanging this Valentine's Day." That sounds like a good meme. All right. $500,000 AIM-9X to shoot down a $100 weather balloon. Yeah. Oh, someone's making some money off of this. But they're also justifying their purchases. They've been purchasing things for a long time, and this allows them to, test out their equipment. So, yeah. Regarding Raquel Welch, this is from Rev68. I didn't think you were going to end that sentence with influence when you said, I think she had a huge... yeah. That is funny. Miranda K says, Angelina Jolie. Yes. I think Angelina Jolie does have that kind of gravitas. So thank you for pointing that out. Come to the comments, Tom. We're a few here. Let's have some fun. Nice. I like it. Nikki's running for VP nomination, says Miranda. Well, that would be a good way to do it. She really hasn't said that much negative things about Trump yet. So she might be going for the VP. And if that's the case, that's not a bad strategy. Have them spell and define competency. Well, I have a hard time even pronouncing that word sometimes. I don't know why, but for whatever reason, it hits me. It hits me funny. I think I can think of 80 million people who don't want a competent president. It does kind of seem that way, doesn't it? Wow. See, Jesse says competency tests. I get it, but I get he's not all there. But a Republican candidate asking for regulation over the people's votes? Something is off with how you select. Age seems targeted. All would fall. All would fail, yes. I think everyone should be able to take a simple test like that. I don't think anyone... We really shouldn't have a problem with it. And if someone's fighting that, that makes you wonder. That does make you wonder. Tests may represent white supremacy. Well, yeah, I suppose we would probably hear that as well, Matthew Adams said. Let's see. The Republican vote thing, I didn't quite get that. Can you clear that up? Maybe I didn't catch it. I'm not sure what you're referring to, but it'll probably hit me after I end the live stream. Best censored 20 minutes of my day. Well, that's good to hear. That means a lot to me when people tell me that. Liked and shared on Facebook and Twitter. Thank you, Miranda. Oh, that's right. So, yeah, Republicans typically want less regulation and less governance so people can decide for themselves. That's kind of a standard philosophy. It doesn't always hold true with all things. Hashtag not all, right? Berlin in der Hausverwaltung. Gravitat. Oh, that's funny. Gravitatas. Yes. Potato soup also represents white supremacy. That's pretty funny. Let me check on the other platforms just to see if I don't know why I even look, but we'll see. On Twitter, I did get. Let's see. Gregory liked like the stream, so that's cool. Thanks, Gregory, for promoting over there. And on Twitch, I got to learn how to do this on Twitch. Not sure. Still learning, everyone. But over on Odyssey, yeah, not a single person. So who knows how long that'll last. We got to get Rumble back up and running because we had a number of people that were participating on Rumble every day. So we've got to get that working. So hopefully I will find out about that through Twitter when they reply. So, yeah. The question here at the end is, do you think the Dems and the Republicans are two sides of the same coin? On so many things. They seem to be in the exact same place on running up the budget, running up the military-industrial complex, and supporting war. They all seem to be on the same page on that. But you got to have a few differences. That's how it works. That's how it keeps all of us entertained. Anyway, that's all I got for you today. Let me know what you thought. If you arrived late and you want to go back and check out my monologue, I've been working on my monologues. I hope they're getting better. So let me know what you think about that. But that's all I have for you today. I hope you all... this is one last thing. Let's hit this. I've been asking people to send in questions because I'm going to start a different channel where I answer short, concise questions. You know, it could be, when was Machu Picchu built? Or something like that. Or, you know, what is the debt ceiling? Explain, how does Bitcoin work? Whatever. Any question you may have, send it to me at asktom@protonmail.com. I want the first 100 questions that I do to come from you, my audience. So if you can do that, I would appreciate that. But that's all I have for you right now. Send me questions over at asktom@protonmail. We're going to have a good Fact Check Friday tomorrow. So join me live for that. And I'll stick around afterwards on Friday and chat more with everyone. So hope you all have a beautiful day. I'll see you then. Peace.